Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, when it comes to early childhood education, Oklahoma leads the nation. Every 4-year-old in the Sooner State currently has free access to a year of high-quality pre-kindergarten. In 2013, President Obama challenged the nation to drastically improve our country's early childhood development programs. Yet Oklahoma already had it mastered. Joining me now is our Andy Barth.
Well, Rob, what started as a pilot program in 1980 was passed into law in 1998. The goal? To break the cycle of poverty. In addition to a free 4-year-old program, some families receive home visits to coach parents on reading and talking more to their children, all in hopes to make a better Oklahoma. It's an everyday scenario. Children learning in school. Yet what about brain development before they walk into a classroom?
One thing that's common among all families and all parents is that parents want the best for their children. And that doesn't matter what circumstance the family is in. Parents really want what's best for their kids. We do find
Rob Grunwald is an economist with the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis and says an early start prepares a child for their future.
When children are in childcare, let's say if they are going to, let's say, Oklahoma's 4-year-old preschool program before they go on to kindergarten, they're at a time in life in which there is opportunity for a great amount of change and learning, especially in the child's brain. And it really sets the tone for their school readiness.
And business owner Chuck Mills says learning must start at home because those first years are crucial for development.
Early childhood was important because that's really where the base of knowledge begins. I mean, 85% of the brain is developed in the first 3 years of life.
Yet Grunwald says parents are often unable to provide that foundation because of work.
So many of parents in our workforce are at work that many children are in child care settings. And so if those child care settings are providing an environment to help children learn more about early vocabulary and early problem solving, that's going to help them.
And for the Boeing company Steve Hendrickson, the right early education is crucial to fill a growing job demand down the road.
Very simply put, we have many more openings in our economy in the state of Oklahoma in the next 10 years than we have people to fill them. It's that simple.
Which is why Mills says employers must support their workers, who are parents.
We as employers, should be able to help our employees understand the importance of them working with their children, preparing them for an education, preparing them for school.
And Hendrickson says the parent's job doesn't have to be hard.
Simple things like reading stories, and we find that a live person reading to a child sitting in a lap just goes light years to keeping a lot of those synapses connected that will typically prune themselves when you get to be a teenager. And we find that a lot of the children that have an active parenting style like that do really, really well.
And Grunwald says children will learn no matter the situation.
Development is happening no matter where it is. And if that development is happening with adults, with their parents and other teachers and so on, interacting together, that's how that rich brain development forms.
Well, now, unfortunately, research suggests that high-poverty parents don't always attach to their children. Studies show that a child of professionals hears 30 million more words by the age of 4 than a child on welfare.
Now, Andy, education can be very much debated down at the state capitol. Is this a partisan issue?
Well, Rob, Oklahoma is one of the reddest states in the union, but lawmakers, both Democratic and Republican alike, feel that this is an economic and a social issue and that our youth must be invested in for the future.
Well, it sounds like certainly an important program and a nice piece. Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome, Rob.
Now, a little later in our show, we'll look at the issue of texting and driving from a very personal level. But when we return, we continue our focus on Cradle to Career.